Hello, fellow Factorians, and welcome back to my Pyanodons challenge run. During the last episode, I did a few different things. First, I dumped a lot more trains into my system and adjusted my train programming a little bit, and the trains ran fine. So I'm pleased with that, although it turns out I might be depending on some unintended behavior from the wildcard and interrupt system, so I probably will continue to adjust my train program to get everything dialed in properly. I also got a large Mark II hot air build going, and that mostly got built, but I found a few issues with my mall that blocked a few things, and I need to correct those ASAP because I would like to get more hot air going. Hot air actually is necessary. My Pi 1 build is lacking a little bit of hot air, so it's not quite running at 4.8K per minute as I'd like. And that's a little bit because a couple of coal miners failed, but I'd much rather get the better hot air going to solve that issue. And finally, I worked on improving my zinc, and that, again, mostly worked. My zinc buffer depleted a lot less than last time, but I still need to work on a little bit more. So this is going to be a kind of part 2 / continuation of the last episode. And what I did over my hands-off period kind of shows. Besides planning to fix my mall, I mostly ran around and decorated and cleared trees and didn't put down another build to work on. I've got a little bit of time. My next technology is going to be mining productivity 3, which I'm really chuffed about. It's not only helps with depletion of my miners, but it also extends the size of my mining patches effectively. Mining productivity 3 means that you can fill a half belt with just 6 machines mining at 1 per second instead of 7 like I did at mining productivity 2. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. And it also means that I'm not under pressure to implement another technology. Anyway, let's jump into the episode and see how things go. let's get into hands-on mode and start fixing stuff. And the first thing I need to fix is problems with my mall. My mall has several different issues that I need to address, and yeah, that is definitely concerning. The first issue that I need to address is this bespoke request system. Now, it worked fine, except when I started deleting requests while still leaving the item inside of the request chests. And that meant the mall thought, okay, I've got excess items, but didn't know that it's in a chest and not on the belt. So it didn't put more mechanical parts onto the belt, and therefore some stuff didn't get built that depended on mechanical parts. And the fix there is to just filter for negative items with a decider combinator. So I'm going to take all these mechanical parts that I just grabbed and use them to jumpstart a couple of things that were depending on them. Okay. Next item. Next item is I've got a problem here with my drop chests, the chests that let me return items that I have in excess that I'm carrying around back into the mall. The problem is that individually, that system worked fine. But when I have multiple different drop chests that each have the same item in them, the system doesn't know about each different drop chest. It didn't know that, like if I've got seaweed in one and seaweed in a different one, each of them think, okay, the other seaweed is already on the belt, so I don't need to put those items into the belt myself. And that was just not true. So I need to, clean this up and put it into an array of chests that all know about each other. So that would be pretty simple. I wish I had warehouses already so I could put it into kind of like a bigger chest array, but I do not. Or rather, not a bigger chest array, just a giant chest, effectively. So instead, I need to do that. I also need to make that same adjustment for the little system I had here to grab things off of the trainbot belt. And back into the mall if they were in excess. So we'll do that. And I'll rebuild this thing and empty out these items back into the mall, and we'll get going with this. This system here, as long as I don't put excess back into it, it should be fine. But maybe I should filter that with negative signals. But that box should be staying full all the time, so maybe not a problem. We'll see. Anyway, this should all be taken care of once I put down the combinators, and now I should get the rest of this thing built out. As you can see, the biomass power plants didn't get done, the heat exchangers didn't get done, and this construction zone extender especially did not get done, which was a problem. So next item that I want to work on is I want to work on some zinc issues. I'm also going to do a bunch of cleanup as I run past it, like this aluminum belt is no longer necessary, delivering it as molten aluminum instead. But in general, I won't mention that as I do it. So over here, I would like to change my light oil processing from this little rat's nest that's in here over to a slightly more organized version with a few more DDCs here to process it. That's going to help me when my chitin voiding is working better. Well, I mean, it is the reason that chitin voiding is not going that well, because I had it block when I got to a certain amount of light oil. So this should be done in just a second, and then we'll move on to the next thing. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to clean up that rat's nest that I've left for myself in this area. Slightly better. I also want to make sure that aromatics flows up to the zinc area. So we're going to set this to be a full top up rather than just overflow. Before I was kind of letting zinc slack, and now I can't let zinc slack anymore. Now it's going to be rubber that slacks, but at least I have a pretty big stockpile of laboratory instruments in case I need it. Okay, next I'm going to add a little bit more middle oil processing. When the kite intake is run through the atomizers, that means I have more middle oil to use for the regular process. And since I'd added more tar processing for, I still need to add more middle oil processing as well. Okay, great. Now that is taken care of. My rubber may not run at full tilt, but it should get most of the aromatics it needs. As soon as I get more tar production, though, everything should be just fine. All right, next item to work on. I would like to go ahead and clear out this black liquor that's sitting right here. So if I put a gasifier in, I can convert it to acetone, which I can burn off, and aromatics, which I'm going to scavenge for myself. All right, that'll take a little while to work through the what's available, and then I can remove that. Okay, over here, I am planning to change out what my backup fuel source is. Right now, syngas was my backup for if I'd run low on coke oven gas and the byproducts from tar processing. That never came about. Coke oven gas was always in sufficient supply, but now I'm going to have a problem because I'm going to stop making quite so much of it. So yeah, now it's time to go ahead and switch out to acetylene. Okay, I'm going to go grab some materials and then continue work. I want to get that Mark II hot air production going, so I need to hook up a few things, make a few corrections in there, and then we'll keep going. But yeah, as you can see, my zinc buffer is almost gone. Well, while I'm in here, I also want to add a little bit more mining to my bootstrap base area. Couple places where I can finish mining out the stone. I'm missing some miners for raw coal production, and yeah, so I just need to fix this up. All right, that should take care of that. Oh, wait, I forgot to bring stone up here. Let me go grab some stone bricks, because I also need to charge up all of those regenerative heat exchangers. If they don't have bricks to exchange, how will they ever make hot air? How would you ever make hot air without using a bunch of bricks? All right, and I'll leave myself some extra bricks to charge more of them up in the future. Each of the big stacks, the ones that are using the warmer brick recipe, needs about 1,500. And then this little stack that is making up for the fact that this recipe only gives you 95% back the coke oven gas, that needs about 500. So we'll go with that. So, assuming that the bots come and deliver everything, and yeah, the cellulose is getting made, so these biomass power plants should get working as soon as the biomass has the cellulose has a chance to spoil. Everything will be good with that. I also really need to make sure that I make enough salt. The salt gets produced so slowly. So I had one change to make in this area. The syngas is not currently a dependable fuel supply, so I'm going to switch that to adrenaline. Sorry, acetylene, not adrenaline. What am I talking about? Soon I'm going to have more coal gas, so I'm going to fill in these extra gas fires that I've been sitting on for a little bit. Yeah, as soon as I get a little bit more coal gas, I'll be able to make some more syngas, which makes me more tar even. Over here is where I'm planning to make that extra tar and coal gas, so I'm going to fill these in, but I do not have any space really to put in more raw coal mining here. As soon as that new hot air system is working, though, I will have plenty of extra. Great, so that tackles most of what I wanted to do in this episode. Obviously, I've got a task list to check through, but yeah, really what I want to do is see this get going. Hopefully I'll have enough molten salt to run it, because yeah, this pipe is kind of dry. Let's see how much we've got banked in the system. That's not a lot. 11% in the pipes, and as soon as these heat exchangers and power plants get filled in, they're going to absorb a lot as they process that. So we'll hope for the best. But it's still going to take some time for the cellulose to spoil, so I'm going to have to find something else to do. Let's check the task list. So I can go ahead and do a couple of things in my mall. I already adjusted the coal patch miners, more coke to aluminum I've done. I fixed the dump chests and the train bot cleanup chest. I can reduce the iron oxide tile chest storage. I think I might have been a little bit ambitious even with having 2 iron oxide tile producers. It's been great to have them because, yeah, I've been decorating with them a lot, but at the same time, this is just too much production. I won't need this in the future. All right, the black liquor is all gone, so I can get rid of this. All right, that's taken care of and cleaned up. And now I'm going to do a little bit of work around the bootstrap base to try and improve things out here. I don't think I actually want to take that away yet, but I definitely want to take away that inserter. So, things I want to do in the bootstrap base. I want to make sure that I have enough steel, and to do that I'm going to use up some of the bootstrap base's steel, which can go ahead and get reconnected to the brakes and gearboxes, because I suspect that, yeah, the mall is completely low on steel, so I'll go ahead and throw some of the buffer that I've got available in. Nice. Actually, while I'm out here, one other thing that I definitely want to do is I want to extend the mall a bit. I only have like 3 spots available for new buildings, and that really isn't going to be enough. I was hoping I'd get to logistic spots before I had to do this, but no such luck. So I'm going to, yeah, do some surgery in here. It's going to take a little bit of time, but yeah, just bear with me while I rejigger this system. All right, I got to clean out some of the stuff that got into my into my inventory from that sushi belt, and then we'll be back to doing other work. I'm trying to get as many tidal power generators done as I can before I run off to build those. So I'm going to build a few more trains while I'm here. I can see that my depot is not empty, but is not as full as it could be. Before I run off to put those tidal power generators in, let's see how I'm doing with the task list. So here's an item that I haven't done yet. I need to make sure that my recycled reinforced concrete that I've been collecting, because I've been replacing some of it with limestone past, gets used up. So I want to not insert into this caravan outpost if I've got some available. This will just take a second. Okay, that's taken care of. So let's clean it out of my task list. I filtered the bespoke request chests in the mall. I fixed the refined regular concrete now. I have not reduced the iron oxide chest storage. Yes, I did. What am I thinking? So did that. More light oil processing, I've done that. I need to do some maintenance on... Okay, I can do... At least one of those is nearby, so I'll just go ahead and do that. There is one spot in the iron ore processing, or iron ore mine 2 that needs to be cleaned up, as well as a bunch of miners that need to be cleaned up. Fix the missing power poles in the hot air build. Can do some maintenance on iron processing 3, but that is a train ride, so I might save that for toward the end. Okay, let's go install the tidal power generators that I've got. I've got a pretty great load of them, so we'll go down here and put in as many as we can. Looks like 83. 83 is a lot. That is more than almost 500 megawatts of new power. All right, fantastic. Let's head home and see how we're doing at our biomass power, the new hot air build. Still a lot of it to be built. So I might give it a helping hand, at least so that I can get the whole loop working. It's okay if a lot of these power plants haven't been done yet. I do have the biomass done already, so they just need to be charged up with molten salt. Although I do have also hot molten salt, so really it's just the heat exchanger loop that needs to be finished. So I might just grab a bunch of pipes and head up there to build some of it myself. Okay, now some heat exchangers are going, so we should see these stacks starting to turn on as soon as they get the 500 degree coke oven gas. Yeah, they've been heated up by the burners, so just need to see this working. And hopefully I've got enough salt inside of the loop to have this work. Maybe the 500 degree stuff is not connected yet. Should be connected. Ah, right. Okay, I need to prime the in-between with some 250 degree as well. It shouldn't, it should be a closed loop afterwards, but yeah, I'll need to wire in some. And there we go. Now we have the cold stone bricks being warmed up, and this should give us some warm stone bricks to heat up. And yeah, they should get onto the belt, and we'll have some hot air being produced. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. Might do a build montage of this later, although it's going to be, maybe I'll wait another episode because it's only going to be partially built even at the end of this episode. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. Hopefully I didn't bring so many... Yeah, there aren't that many pipes and undergrounds inside that, so I didn't go over what the bots were going to need to deliver anyway. Let's see. I would really like to turn off some of these coke oven gas producers, but I should probably wait till I see how things work out with this new system. Well, first, at least I need to make sure that the whole plumbing system works. So I'm going to work on that and make sure everything's flowing correctly. Then I'll try and estimate how much production we can do without from the previous system. All right, that seems to all be connected now, and I'm definitely seeing hot air flow through, and we're filling up these tanks. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think I can knock off at least a few of these coke oven gas producers. I mean, I did add 500 megawatts of new power, so I definitely will be able to remove a few of these. I think each of these provides about 90 megawatts of liquid fuel. I just want to make sure I knock out the right ones because some of them are going to acetylene, for instance, production, and I don't want to take those offline. Although, yeah, some of them could be wired differently. Well, that was pretty satisfying, and also useful because now I can take some of these, the raw coal that I freed up and use it to make tar products. My inventory is really overflowing though, so I'll have to deal with that a little bit. Okay, now this is hooked up and I fixed the problems that I was causing with unhooking a bunch of stuff, which tends to come when you are doing cleanup and still need pieces of what you're doing working. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. As long as I have enough hot air in the system, and I think I do. Let's see if hot air in these tanks is backing up. Yeah, I definitely had more than I had a little while ago. So that is fantastic. Let's look at over here. I want to check these. These are still running. The reason I knocked these out here, by the way, the reason I chose these is because these didn't end up going into my ash system, whereas everything else had been hooked up to ash. So these were the least useful ones. This one is staying because it's providing the coke oven gas over to the top-up system over here. A top-up system, which it doesn't have to keep running, actually, it looks like. So it is done its work. Okay, so what else do I need to do before I end this episode? I think I'm pretty satisfied with this. There's a lot of this missing, but even this is built to serve like 1.3 K per second of hot air, and my base only currently uses about 500. So yeah, this was built for future expansion. So even though, you know, like 2/3 of it is missing, and only a quarter of these biomass power plants are here, should be plenty to at least do most of the hot air. Mostly I'm worried about taking too much coal gas out of the system, coke oven gas, and therefore ending up in a situation where I can't power my base, not the lack of hot air. So let me go back to my train actually, and then I will clean up iron processing 3, and then I'll see if I've thought of anything else that I need to do. All right, well, that cleanup is done, and it's not just cleanup, of course. I have to keep my miners working as well as possible. There are a bunch of cleanup tasks I could do, But I think I actually want to end the episode. Yeah, it's gone on long enough, and I want to see that my hot air system continues to function, as well as keeping power going. And then I'll probably be deleting a bunch of the regenerative heat exchangers up here and using them to supplement the system, etc., etc. But for right now, I am pretty satisfied where things are. So let's go into hands-off mode, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. I will see you next time.